In the Rhondda Valleys at one time there were 60 coal mines and more than 40,000 working underground. The hills weren't green but covered in spoil heaps, hundreds of thousands of tons of coal mining waste.
The question is, I suppose, it was something that may have been deemed safe in say the 1980s or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the case for all time. The industry is gone, the employment that it provided for the people of the valleys has gone, but the tips are still here and they're still posing a potential risk, I suppose.
Most disused coal tips are overgrown. Vegetation hides the waste, but not the risk. 3 years ago, more than 60,000 tons of coal waste rushed down the hill near the village of Tylorstown after heavy rain during Storm Dennis. No one died and no home was wrecked, but it frightened many locals.
I don't think none of them are safe. Because, I mean, how many are there in all of the valleys? I mean, it's not only the Rhondda, it's the Cynon, it's the further down and everywhere else. I mean, across the country more or less, but everybody seems to ignore them.
In 1966, disaster struck. 116 children in Aberfan's Pantglas school were killed under an avalanche of mining waste. It engulfed houses too, and 28 people also died. The scars from 57 years ago are deeply painful. Local campaigners argue it's in the public interest for governments to publish which old coal tips are dangerous and their precise locations.
I think the biggest risk at the moment is that these coal tips are still there. They're on the side of hills, above where people live, above where people go to the leisure centre, cycle, walk, above infrastructure that's critical to the valleys. And currently, there's no law in place to ensure that's being safeguarded.
Near Tylorstown, one tip at least has been removed at a cost of almost $10 million. But there are others, unstable after heavy rainfall, and climate change could exacerbate the problem.
I think there's a lot of secrecy and there's a lot of, oh, we are monitoring, and then you raise the question of, well, what does that monitoring actually mean and how's that going to help if we do find that the water tables are rising, that there is more water in these structures as climate change happens.
As work continues on the Tylorstown tip, I wanted to ask Welsh ministers and local government leaders why won't they say where the at-risk coal tips are, especially those which may be problematic or even dangerous in the future. They either didn't reply or declined to be interviewed. The UK government won't pay for an industrial clean-up. Wales's government is vague despite promising it would help to safeguard properties and people and avoid another catastrophe.